Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Nice to see the hall full. I'm not joking. 3 years ago, I came to Dubai to speak at a local merchant chamber meeting, and I had a grand audience of 3. I was very furious with the organizers. I said, "Did you tell them that I am going to be speaking today?" He said, "Sorry, CK, someone else must have told them." But even after being told that CK is going to be here, you have so many people. Thank you so much. I think I've progressed quite a lot in the 3 years, right? Okay, great. And thank you for that introduction also, which was very brief, I must say, Shaji. Because I don't know why, especially women, get overawed by me and they start giving their introductions which are almost dicey every time. There was this young girl who came and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the only speaker on this part of the earth who can speak on any topic without thinking." What she meant was without preparation, but you know what happened. Luckily, I understood that it was a compliment and not a lecture. But then these things happen always. So it's very important that you get introduced in the right manner. Once again, wonderful to be here. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time I'm doing this workshop. And I've been getting some rave reviews about this about my workshop. Let me read out one feedback for you. "Dear CK, my friends laughed when I told them that I'm going to be attending a humor workshop by you. And now they are not laughing." DTM Humor Krishnan, District Governor. I don't know whether it is a compliment or something else. Many times in life you receive such compliments. In fact, I went and complained to my mentor, "Look here, I have a very low salary, and I don't think life is moving up for me." He said, "CK, don't worry. You know something? The mighty oak was once a nut like you." But once again, I didn't know whether it was a compliment or not. Great. So good to be here. And let me tell you something. This is not a joke-telling session. If any of you came here thinking that you're going to be entertained minute after minute, I'm sorry to disappoint you. And this is not a stand-up comedy show. Although I believe the job of a stand-up comedian is one of the toughest jobs on planet Earth. Yes or no? Yes. Imagine making people laugh and laugh and laugh. I know I don't have that kind of talent, but the focus here is going to be, how can I use humor to weave into my presentations? And how can I make a point? If I tell a joke, you will laugh for 5 minutes. But my attempt here today is, as speakers, when I use humor, I want you to laugh for 5 seconds and think for 5 minutes. I think that is the effect of good humor. How many times you've seen presentations dry, listless, and you're waiting for the presentation to end, especially when the speaker uses a PowerPoint and they conveniently switch off the lights off. I'm giving you the cue that for the next 15 minutes or so, you can have a nice snooze, and when the speaker says, "In conclusion," you'll wake up and see, "Let's see what this guy has to say." And that's why I'm trying to tell you, how can I make the speech slightly better by adding one line of humor. Now, many years ago, I was attending a program on anti-smoking, and throughout the morning session, speaker after speaker had bombastic slides, cancer, death, and statistics after statistics. And after lunch, I thought this is going to be the same thing all over again, and I was ready to take a nice snooze. And then the speaker came and said something. "Smoking helps you lose weight, one lung at a time." And immediately I knew this guy is going to do something different. And as Toastmasters, we listen to many icebreakers, right? And they're normally the usual stuff. I was born here, studied here, and stuff like that. There was one guy who came and said, my father outsources punishment to my mother, but my mother does not outsource her affection and love for me. Wow, that was a brilliant statement. I immediately woke up. I said, I must listen to this guy. There was yet another chap called Aditya Arora who came and said, the attitude of my life is in my blood, be positive. And my blood group is B positive. Now I thought, why didn't I say this again? Because my blood group is also positive, B positive. Now what I'm trying to tell you is, with just one line, you can definitely create an impact in your speeches. Now, as Toastmasters, will you agree with me that you listen to two speakers who are equally competent, equally talented, and the person who can get a smile or can get that sparkle is the one who eventually wins the ribbon, and also is more memorable? So that is going to be the purpose of this workshop. Now, how can I weave humor so that I can leave the audience entertained and perhaps educated? That's going to be the focus. Now, once again, I see so many beautiful and charming women here. Most welcome. You want to know the difference between beautiful and charming? A beautiful woman is the one I notice, and a charming woman notices me. And I think there are enough in this topic. Great. Now let me begin with the beginning. Quickly, it may not be possible to cover everyone at random. I just want you to get up, mention your name, and just give me one word that best describes yourself. If you ask me, I'm CK and I'm curious. I always want to learn. So quickly, I just want at least 10 to 15 people and then tell you what relevance this has got with humor. Quickly, please. Yeah. Anybody? Yeah, please. Get up your name and one word that best describes yourself.
My name is Sunil. I'm curious.
Curious. Okay. Curious is banned from no one else. Yeah. Anybody? Quickly, please. Yeah.
I'm humorous.
Humorous. Yeah.
I'm confused.
You're confused. Yeah.
I'm Rajesh Jain. Nothing is impossible.
Nothing. That's the longest one word I've heard in my life.
Highly self-motivated.
Highly self-motivated. Yeah.
Be happy always.
Be happy always. Fantastic.
I'm human and young.
You're?
Yeah.
Yeah. Young. Okay, great. He said, be happy. I also gave the same advice to an audience. I said, be happy. You must always be happy. Suddenly one guy got up and said, CK, what for you? You would say, be happy, be happy. Come and get married to my wife, then you'll know. I was not ready for the challenge anyway. Yes, please. Yeah. Anybody, quick. Yeah.
I'm Ramakrishna Aram. I'm practical.
Practical. Wonderful, sir. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Happy.
Happy. Wonderful. Yeah. I'm glad she said it with a smile. Imagine people telling I'm happy. Yes, anybody please. Quick, quick. I just want to, yeah.
Nothing is impossible.
Impossible. Great. Anything.
I'm secular.
Yeah.
I'm secular, quality conscious.
Quality conscious. Yeah.
Creative.
Creative. Wonderful.
Ganesh, lazy man.
Ganesh, lazy man. You didn't even get up. I can understand.
I want to be sensible.
You want to be sensible. Yeah.
We know explorer.
We know the explorer. Wonderful. Anybody else, please?
I'm a positive person.
You're a positive
My
person.
blood and yes.
Okay, great. Anybody else? Quick, quick. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, please, please.
Anyway, whatever defines is not true.
Not true.
Humorous.
Humorous. Yeah.
Nizamuddin, sensitive.
Sensitive. Great. Yeah.
Passionate.
Passionate. Wonderful. I'm very happy nobody used the word responsible. Diplomatic. Okay, great. Because somebody last time he said I'm responsible. I was very happy and he just added a footnote. Whenever anything goes wrong in my office, my boss holds me responsible. Wonderful. Now, why did I ask you to do this exercise in a humorous session, Dave? Why?
Breaks the ice.
Breaking the ice.
Pardon?
Ice break.
Breaking the ice? No, not like this. In my opinion, the best way to break ice is to pour whiskey over it. And anyway, yeah, ice breaking, yes, yeah.
Humor has to be brief, so probably you want to try that one.
Humor has to be brief.
Everything has humor.
No, ask it.
Everything has humor in it, yeah. Hey, what about Lloyd? How would you describe yourself? I forgot. Colorful, yeah, I can see that. In fact, if he removes his t-shirt, you will find it even more colorful.
Make the session more interactive.
To say, make the session more interactive. Yeah.
Sometimes you can speak without a wife's permission also.
Without your wife's permission also.
You wanted to know what kind of gathering we have.
What kind of gathering do I have? Yeah.
Audience consists of different
What kind of gathering I have, I should not decide when I come. I should have done sufficient exercise. I should have asked audience. But anyway, the point is, yeah.
Keep us awake.
Keep us awake. Okay.
Your audience consists of different kinds of people.
Okay. Fine.
Few words are more significant on humor.
The first and fundamental quality, if you want to develop humor or you want to become confident in life, is, do you have self-esteem? And that's why I wanted to see, what do you think about yourself? Do you have a good opinion about yourself? Or are you also floundering and diffident about yourself? Please remember, if you are not strong inside, it will be very difficult for you to even exercise humor. What is the number one fear for most of the people according to the book of the list?
Public
Speaking in public. What is the number two fear? Flying. Fear of flying. And what is the number three fear? Speaking while flying. No. I'm sure none of us will be asked to do that. But the point is, public speaking itself creates so much of fear in your hearts. And imagine trying to be humorous is one of the toughest challenges in communication. Yes or no? Yes. Right. And so, if you do not have a healthy sense of self-esteem, it is going to be very difficult, because when you start applying humor, you are bound to fail. Because not everybody is going to like it, and people are simply going to say, why did you have to try all that? This is not for us. As the MC said, a humorist are born, it's not for us. My contention is only babies are born. All others can be made. But the point is, if you do not have enough of self-esteem, you're going to be finding it very difficult when people give feedback that your speech was listless, you just don't have the sense of comedy, so you have to keep at it, and so you must have enough of self-esteem. And that self-esteem also springs from a confidence level that yes, I have certain talents, but maybe I have to pick this up from somewhere else. As Will Rogers says, we are all ignorant in different subjects. And the person who has self-esteem will appreciate this and is not going to be worried too much. I have a friend in this audience. I'm not going to name him because it may be embarrassing for him. During college days, he was romancing. And you know, he used to sing those songs, Aap aaye, bahar aaye. You know the meaning? When you come, what comes? The season of the spring comes. Unfortunately, she spurned his love and she ditched him. What will a normal suitor do? They've thus, right? Curse his luck, maybe get some arrears in the subjects. But you know what this guy did? He just turned over and said, Aap gaye to hazar aaye. That I think was self-confidence. That I think is self-esteem. And the first and fundamental thing you need to understand is, so what? So what if my humor fails? Not an issue. Because I am trying something which most public speakers find it very, very difficult. And when I am attempting something, definitely I have a chance to fail. So I'm not going to be too worried about the first responses, but can I keep at it? And that is why I said you need enough of self-esteem. And when you have enough of self-esteem, you are not going to be challenged by the situations which are going to be demeaning or even dissuading. I'm reminded of an actress called Eva Arden, who was a stage actress. Superb. She was very known for her versatility. And there was a 2,000 strong audience, and she went on stage. Suddenly the phone bell rang. What was so great? According to the script, the phone was not supposed to ring. So she just looked at the hero, and he was giving a furtive glance at her because he was the guy who set up the call, just to see how she behaves. Now she cannot shout because the audience is live. So what she does is she picks up the phone and says, "Hey John, it's for you." I would have loved to see his reaction. Right? So what I'm saying is, if you have self-esteem, you're not going to be worried about remarks that people do say, and you're going to be telling it in a much confident manner. I can simply not forget this incident of Zaza Gabor, an actress who was supposed to be having a masculine voice. So there was this male reporter who wanted to just make fun about her and said, "Ma'am, have you ever been mistaken for a man?" She said, "No, but have you?" I think that was devastating. I mean, look at the kind of confidence she had. She was not put off by this, and she gave it back to him. So a sense of humor, a self-esteem manages to rephrase or reframe even a difficult situation. So what we're going to do in this session now is, it's not just going to be talking, I expect participation from you. For the first, maybe for the rest of the 45 minutes, I'm just going to lay down some principles. What I have learned when using humor. Your president told me, CK, you come and give some advice to our members. I was ready with the advice and I told my son, I rang up my son and said, I'm going to be giving some advice to Dubai. I'm in Dreams Toastmasters. He said, be careful. Socrates, a great philosopher, went around giving advice and people poisoned him. I don't think the Dreams Toastmasters are so diabolic to poison me, but why take a risk, right? So I'm going to be giving some inputs of what I have learned as far as humor is concerned. And let's see, and after the break, or during the break, I'm going to be splitting you into some 8 to 10 groups, and each one of you will have to try and use a joke or tell a humorous story. And then we will come back here, and the group will select the best performers, and each one of you will perform on stage. And the audience and myself, they will give feedback and see what was good about your presentation and what do you think you could have done better. Are you ready for this? Yeah. You have to participate, please remember, right? And please ask any questions in between. This is not going to be a stage managed show. I love participation. Ask and you're a fool for 5 minutes. Who don't ask, you're a fool for a lifetime. Yes or no? And before starting these sessions and before teaching, I went to my professor at IMB and said, sir, I'm going to be teaching. He said, CK, be careful. In every class, there will be one guy who goes on asking you questions. And your first instinct is ask him to shut up. He said, please don't do that. You know why? He may be the only one listening to you. So I'll be happy if more and more people ask me questions. But last time, once again, Al Futek, the hall was full. I said, ask. Suddenly somebody got up and said, there is a coffee break. I hope you will not ask such questions. Okay, before I proceed, I see some familiar faces. How many of you have attended my humorous workshop before? Can I have a show of hands? Okay, any of my speeches on humor? In some club or the other? Okay, a polite request to all of you is, I have a very limited set of jokes. Now, one of the fundamental dictums of a humorous speaker is, a humorous speaker should have a long memory, but hope the audience doesn't have it. I'm very scared about this Dreams Toastmasters. Last week I had been to Dreams Toastmasters, and my friend Vinod, he was the time manager. I just started speaking and immediately he raised his hand and said, 3. I said, look here, not even 30 seconds. What do you mean? He said, CK, this is the 3rd time you cracked the same joke in our club. So, what I request is, please laugh at the appropriate places. Thank you. So let's start a small presentation on this, and then we'll go ahead and be ready for it. About a spiritual quotient, but what do you mean by humor quotient? Let's try and discover what we mean by this humor quotient.